Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be with you. For those that may not know, my name is Dennis Hedge, and I'm the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs here at South Dakota State. Welcome to the 4th Annual University Leadership Honors, a celebration of endowment holders at South Dakota State University. As we begin, a quick introduction of someone not participating on stage today, but always an important part of our major events here at SDSU, SDSU's First Lady, Jane Dunn. Please join me in thanking Jane for all she does for us. Today, we will be recognizing, by way of investiture into an endowed position, 7 individuals who are joining a growing and select group of individuals at our university with that distinction. It is a remarkable testament to our loyal donors that we now have 64 commitments in place for endowed positions at South Dakota State University. Of note, 45 of those 64 positions already have the funding in place, with the remaining to be funded at some point in the future. It's a tremendous story of growth and investment by so many into our university. An example of the powerful impact of an endowed position could be seen in our own university president, Dr. Barry Dunn. President Dunn and his wife Jane moved to Texas in late 2003 for the opportunity to hold an endowed position at King Ranch Institute at Texas A&M. They were then drawn back 7 years later as Dr. Dunn became the first South Dakota Corn Dean of the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, and later named the 20th president of South Dakota State University. Throughout his time as our president, Dr. Dunn has provided a bold vision for SDSU's future, including growth in the number of endowed faculty and leadership positions. Please welcome South Dakota State University President, Dr. Barry Dunn.
Well, thank you, Provost Hedge, and welcome, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with you today on this beautiful September afternoon, or maybe it's July, I'm not sure. As we journey to be a premier university, one of the measures of success is to have endowed positions throughout our academic ranks and university programs. SDSU started with certainly the help and leadership of the SDSU Foundation, our Bold and Blue campaign just 8 years ago. At that time, we had commitments for 13 of these positions. We set an ambitious goal to grow that to 50. Well, as you can tell, we've exceeded that, and as Provost said, we now have 64 endowed positions thanks to the trust and generosity of our wonderful donors. These endowed positions are doing exactly what we had predicted they would do. They provide their holders with credibility among national peers and within the university, and the resources to be successful. We have leaders who wouldn't be at SDSU if it weren't for the prestige and opportunity these positions represent. That's what we are celebrating here today. We are recognizing the wonderful commitment of generous people to South Dakota State University. I cannot thank you enough for your investment and trust in SDSU. And to the holders, congratulations. It is the highest honor we can bestow upon a faculty member. It is an honor to be named a holder, and it serves as a lasting testament to the donors. This new title will expand your opportunities, and I am so excited to see the impact these endowments make to the careers of these individuals, their colleges, departments, and programs. Congratulations to you all. Now I'd like to welcome Provost Hedge back to the stage, along with a panel of 4 individuals who hold endowed positions for a discussion of how this distinction has impacted their careers and them personally. Provost Hedge.
Thank you, President Dunn. So this year, we wanted to do something just a little bit different and give you a glimpse of the impact of endowed positions at South Dakota State University very directly through the words of 4 current endowment holders. These individuals obviously have now joined me here on the stage. To begin, I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves, including your name, title, area of work, and how many years you've been here at South Dakota State. Dr. Ann, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. My name is Wen Feng An. I'm a professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences at the College of Pharmacy and Allied Health Professions. The focus of my laboratory research is in cancer. So in particular, we study a type of retrotransposons or jumping genes, which is very abundant in the human genome. So we're trying to understand how these transposable elements got activated in cancer, how do we control them, and ultimately, how do we turn them around into a therapeutic target? And I joined SDSU in 2014, so this is my 12th year here.
Very good. Dr. Karabon.
Hi, everyone. Ann Karabon. I am the Wendell and Marilis Thompson, Director of the School of Education, Counseling, and Human Development. And after 3.5 years, I can roll that off the tongue pretty well. So I've been here since July of 2022, and it has been a pleasure. I'm in that sweet spot where it feels like forever and just like I just arrived.
Hi, I'm Laura Diddle. I'm the Director of Choral Activities here at SDSU, and it's my joy and honor to be here with you today. I've have the joy of working with students in all areas of singing, voice, and music, and I'm honored to be the recipient of the Paul and Doris Moriarty Endowed Professorship here at SDSU. I've been here since 2003, so I've been here 23 years. Math is not the thing, right? Music is the thing.
Coach.
Hi, I'm Rod DeHaven. I'm the Director of Track and Field and Cross Country here at SDSU. I've been here since July of 2004. I was only a math minor, computer science major, graduate of SDSU in 1989. So, the Brent Bargman endowed position for us is brand new and exciting, and looking forward to see what it'll do for us in the future.
So, Dr. Ann, I want to begin with you. So I helped recruit you. Do you remember, right? I mean, I remember that actually very, very fondly.
I remember having lunch.
That's right, that's right. Did I pick up the tab on the lunch, or do you remember that part? I don't know. The two of us, we've really had kind of a special opportunity to develop a really unique relationship with Barry and Sharon Markle over the past number of years. And I would like you to tell me a little bit about how you've developed such a team relationship with the Markles since you've joined us here at South Dakota State.
Sure. I remember in the first few years, I would email update Sharon and Barry Markle, just what's happening in the lab, and that could be launching a new lab website, receiving a research grant, or receiving a professional award, or as trivial as lab outings. For example, one summer we canoed down the Big Sioux River, and that was fun just to tell them. And then it evolved into hour-long chat whenever they came back to visit the campus. So now we actually have developed a routine. So we would meet twice a year, at least. So once in the spring, once in the fall. So we have found the perfect spot. So that's the lounge, East End Lounge in the student union. And we would show up at like one particular Thursday and 8 a.m. And we would grab our coffee or tea for me, and we would just chat. We chat about family, life, of course research and the lab. So we have so much to talk about. Now our meeting would typically run for 2 hours, if not longer. And it's been always, I feel the Markles being very encouraging and supportive throughout this whole process.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? It started with passion around cancer research and various things like that that was mutually shared, and then has really evolved into friendship. And I know, just because, again, I very well know your relationship with Barry and Sharon, and how now you celebrate, kids' achievements and various things like that, which is really a cool story, I think. Maybe we go to the business side. I mean, obviously, since you've been here, you've enjoyed some great success. So tell us a little bit about how the resources that the Markles have made available to you and your team have really contributed to your numerous research program successes.
Sure. So if we had time, I can tell you all the different ways the Markle Endowment has positively impacted our research team. But to me, the most important or significant impact is that the endowment, the financial support, offers us the freedom to innovate. So let me explain that to you. So if you receive a federal or state grant, right, we are legally obligated to fulfill the research objectives proposed there. However, the Markle Endowment doesn't dictate which specific research project we work on. So with that in mind, we were able to take risks, try out new ideas, and open new research directions. One example of that will be our recent effort in developing a novel cancer immunotherapy, and that revolves around the properties of tumor-associated antigen that's derived from the transposable elements we've been studying over the years. With the endowment support, we were able to generate good preliminary data, and now the effort has been supported by the Harvard 3D Center, as well as by a Pollack grant from the Stanford Cancer Biology Corporate Program. So I think this project has a lot of potential and the promise, and potentially it can save a lot of lives in the future.
Thank you. Dr. Karabon, you were the Wendell and Marlis Thompson Endowed Director of the School of Education, Counseling, and Human Development, and your school has academic, scholarly, and service operations occurring in a building we now call the Thompson Center. And I saw Marley back here just a little while ago. I want to ask you about inspiration. Tell me a bit about how the Thompsons have inspired you and your team to perform at the highest level and to do impactful, meaningful work.
Absolutely. The Thompsons' generosity goes well beyond financial support. It embodies a dedication to transformative education, people-centered fields such as counseling, education, and human development. And similar to building that relationship with the family that you get to work with, engaging with Marley and Wendell, I was able to see from the beginning that they are change makers and that they want to foster change making in our future graduates. And so the inspiration I get from them is profound. From the day that I came to campus and sat at your home, I'm looking right at Marley. I'm like, "Hi, Mom." Like, "Hi, how are you?" But sitting with them, it is palpable, the passion and commitment they have to changing this community, this state, and really making an impact. The Thompson Center is a beautiful facility, state-of-the-art for our students and faculty to enter every single day, to have that sense of professionalism in a space that we would never have had without their gift and their dedication to making sure that that program is lifted up. So thank you. The inspiration comes daily to maximize human impact and potential across our campus.
And Anne, as you know, school directors and department heads are actually in a very unique position to promote and support a unit's strategic vision and its faculty. So I'd like you to tell us a little bit about how you've utilized the resources through your endowment to advance the strategic vision of the unit, as well as to advance the program's faculty.
Absolutely. It's really impactful to be able to have the decision making in a strategic manner versus being reactive all the time to what comes across our plates. I think, being able to support faculty, especially junior faculty who are starting out, to pilot programs, bring in national speakers for professional development, sponsor our faculty and students to go to regional and national conferences that they otherwise wouldn't be able to go to, is part of my strategic vision and helps them accomplish those, those big, exciting moments. I also want to, make sure that I nod to a recent accomplishment that we've made. So one of our faculty in Human Development and Family Studies does a project under USDA NIFA, and they took a group of 12 to 15 school counselors out to Ithaca, New York, to do a tour of different agricultural farms and different producing organizations. And because of the endowment, I was able to sponsor a videography company to go with them. One, they felt really amazing having an entire videography team coming with them and drones and all the fun things. But we're able to use that as a promotional tool, a way to have future cohorts see the video to potentially engage with the research. Also, we were able to show it to USDA and show the impacts of the work that they sponsored. So those types of things I wouldn't typically be able to say yes to, and because of the endowment, I'm able to do so. So it's pretty remarkable.
Right. Thank you. Now, before I ask questions of Dr. Diddle, I want to take a brief moment to acknowledge Paul Moriarty, who passed away in July. Paul and his wife Doris, just truly dear friends and supporters of South Dakota State University. Both Paul and Doris greatly admired Dr. Diddle and the entire SDSU choral music program, which motivated them, in fact, to make their generous endowment gift. So Dr. Diddle, and President Dunn really mentioned this in his remarks. For those of us in higher education, being invested into an endowed professor position is often cited as the absolute peak in one's faculty career. So I want you to take us back, if you will, to that moment when you received notice that you would be named the Paul and Doris Moriarty Endowed Professor of Choral Activities. How did you feel? What did it mean?
That particular moment when I received notice was in the Frost Arena while we were performing for a marvelous foundation event. My choir had just done a gorgeous job singing and performing, as they always do, and I was sitting in the front row playing my pitch pipe with an E flat for them to start the yellow and blue. I was ready to give them, here we go with the yellow and blue, and all of a sudden the train stopped. And they said, and we have a very surprise announcement. Dr. Laura Diddle is now going to be the very first endowed professor for the School of the Performing Arts. Congratulations, Dr. Diddle. And I was just like, what? I was truly astounded, astonished, surprised, amazed, and there are pictures of it with my hands over my face like, surely this was wrong, right? Mm-hmm. It was just a marvelous, marvelous experience, and I'm so, so grateful for that, but also just when I picture that scene, I obviously feel in my heart, and I'll never ever forget it, the joy, but also the look on my students' faces. They were just, wow. Part of it was because, I have a wonderful special relationship with my singers, but also I think they were feeling really empowered and grateful for being recognized for the arts, and I really am so grateful to Paul and Doris for their foresight and for their belief in me and in our students and in the arts to transform young people's lives and to really touch their spirits and to see the joy on their faces. So absolutely surprised, but also very grateful.
Yeah. So let's talk about those students just a little bit. So my second question for you is, again, endowment provides resources. So tell us a little bit about then how you've utilized those resources to provide additional opportunities for students.
Oh, I'm happy to share. I'm happy to share that. The students, we're so fortunate. Because of this endowment, we're able to do international touring. Some of you might have heard a couple of years ago, we went to Sweden and Norway. I can picture their faces with awe seeing the Trondheim Cathedral up in Trondheim, Norway. I can also see the look on the faces of some students who have never been on an airplane before, much less never been overseas, right? So that was just a marvelous opportunity, but not only the travel overseas, the travel within the United States, but also the opportunity that is given to us, thanks to this endowment, for the students to have world-class experiences with composers, living composers, who come and visit us and they conduct concerts, they write music. They're actually having conversations with living composers with music that they have written specifically for the South Dakota State University Concert Choir, thanks to this endowment, thanks to the gift that Paul and Doris so generously gave to the choral area to ensure that the arts will forever be present here on this gorgeous campus and for these wonderful young people here on campus.
Yeah, thank you. Coach DeHaven, So you're the first endowed coach at South Dakota State University, which is truly a very special honor. You also hold a very close relationship with Brent Bargman, who provided the lead gift to endow the position. What does it mean to you to be the first endowed coach at SDSU, and honestly, one of only very few in the entire nation to receive that honor thanks to a classmate and a friend?
It goes back to the relationships. All of us that were involved with that gift, not only Brent, but I think the 7 or 8 others, all were on campus at some point during the 1980s. And the relationships that we developed during that time period under Coach Scott Underwood, it's bound us forever. You know, well before this gift took place, it was, you know, we routinely ran into each other, made efforts to see each other, and you know, that obviously that's not changing now, but I think the entire time period to raise these funds, from the time it was announced and the great people at the foundation, literally I think we were done in 3 weeks to get, you know, the matching gifts for Brent. And again, that's just, it goes back to you get in a van in South Bend, Indiana at 7 o'clock on Friday night, and you drive all the way back so you can get back for Hobo Day. To stand out in the rain at a parade. You know, some might call that the definition of insanity, but the relationships that, you know, sport allows to develop, and certainly many other aspects, whether it's, you know, choral, band, the multitude of opportunities that are available on this campus, all have a profound impact on how students remember this institution. Yeah. And for us in particular, that was, you know, it brought us all together, and it's a huge part of our life.
I just love that story. I think it's a great story, very powerful in a lot of ways. So, you know, as I've asked the others, you know, we've talked quite a bit about the teaching and learning aspects and the research aspects, but let's talk specifically really about an athletic program and what an endowment like this really enables for an athletic program like yours.
For us, it's been you know, a long time pursuit of excellence, you know, particularly in cross country. We were, you know, very fortunate to win multiple national championships. That group of people that I spoke of, you know, we won 4 national championships during the 1980s in NCAA Division II competition. And certainly all of them want that sort of excellence to continue. And when you are an Olympic individual sport, you're probably far from the limelight of typical media exposure. And the ability to continue to compete at a very high level is allowed by, you know, this type of contribution, and very important to our overall program. And you know, how when we turn the page on July 1st and look at our budget, you know, it's a line item that we do not have to worry about.
Very good. So for all of our panelists, I want to thank you very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, your willingness to share your stories with us all today. And I know that Barry and Sharon and Wendell and Marley and Paul and Doris and Brent are all very proud of you, just like all of us are. So very, very proud of you as well. And I know that they are all cheering for your continued success. So thank you for being part of our great panel here today. As we prepare to formally honor this year's class of new endowment holders, I want to recognize current endowed position holders at SDSU. So several of our endowment holders are with us today, and all are listed within our program, but those that are here today, they're primarily right down here. So I'd like to ask all the current endowment holders to please stand so that you may be recognized. So let's once again congratulate all of these individuals here today as well. Now, it's also very important to draw attention to the donor list at the end of today's program, which includes every donor making a gift or commitment to support an endowed position here at South Dakota State University. So to all of our donors, and we're blessed that so many of you are here, we are indeed so very grateful. Your generosity has made South Dakota State University stronger forever. Will those donors here in attendance please stand so that we can show our appreciation for your generosity. So thank you for your generosity, and as President Dunn mentioned, thank you also for your loyalty and your confidence in all of us. So I would now like to invite this year's honorees to join me on stage. Our donors provide general guidelines on the area of expertise and preferences for the endowment holder. It should be noted, however, that the university goes through a very thoughtful process to select individuals for these positions. Annually, donors receive a report which summarizes the work of the endowed position holder with details of the impact that the gift is having to advance SDSU. This year's honorees represent 5 different colleges. It's also noteworthy that 5 of these endowed positions are new and being awarded for the very first time. In my opinion, that clearly speaks to the momentum and trajectory of this university. Extensive bios of the honorees and donors can be found in the printed program. So we will begin. Our first honoree is Dr. Karen Sanguinet as the Klingbeil Endowed Department Head of Agronomy, Horticulture, and Plant Science. She is the first of 2 honorees today from the College of Agriculture, Food, and Environmental Sciences, and the second to hold this title thanks to the generosity of Maynard Klingbeil. With us today to celebrate her honor is Karen's son Remy and daughter Sophie. Presenting the medallion is Dean Joe Cassidy. Congratulations, Karen. Our next honoree is Dr. Ryan LaFurs. He is one of 2 endowed chairs at SDSU, supported by William Mybra and Bern Griffith. He is an expert in water quality and management, agricultural systems, and understands well the complex interactions between food, water, energy, and climate. In addition to this title, Ryan is the South Dakota Water Resource Institute Director and a State Extension Specialist. We are grateful that Ryan has returned to SDSU, where he began his path in higher education. Lynn Schneider from the Griffith Foundation was unable to be with us, so rapidly presenting that medallion was Dean Joe Cassidy. That was the guy who just came across here very, very quickly. Anyway, congratulations, Ryan. I love to tease Joe. Dr. Aaron Miller is the Gail M. Gullickson Endowed Assistant Professor of Public and Population Health and the Director of the Community Practice Innovation Center. Aaron focuses her work efforts on supporting and expanding public and population health to address community-identified needs and implement innovative solutions. She provides important mentorship and hands-on learning to students through practicums, capstone experiences, and research opportunities. To present the Gail M. Gullickson Endowed Professor of Public and Population Health to Dr. Miller is Gail's sister, Julie Gullickson Bell. Okay, stay right here, okay? So a few words about Gail, okay? So a 1975 College of Pharmacy graduate at SDSU was Gail. With a lifelong commitment to our military service members, Gail served in academic leadership roles with the Veterans Administration and eventually specialized in clinical geriatric medicine. We'd like to present Julie with the framed medallion in recognition of Gail's investment and commitment to public health through the Gail M. Gullickson Endowed Professorship in Public and Population Health. Thank you, Julie, and again, congratulations, Aaron. Dr. T. Michael Farley is the Gary and Sharon Van Riper Endowed Faculty Scholar in Practice Innovation and the first to hold this title. Mike currently practices at Avera McKinnon Hospital in Sioux Falls, focusing on transitions of care for patients with heart failure and hypertension. His clinical teaching emphasizes internal medicine. Gary and Sharon Van Riper are with us today to present the Gary and Sharon Van Riper Faculty Scholar in Practice Innovation Medallion to Dr. Farley. Okay. And now, hold on there, Sharon. Hold on. A few words about Gary and Sharon. As I think everyone in here knows, they are loyal jackrabbits who have devoted their lives to working for and supporting SDSU through the College of Pharmacy and Allied Health Professions, the Gamma Kappa chapter of Kappa Psi, the College of Education and Human Sciences, and Jackrabbit Athletics. Thank you, Gary and Sharon, for your lifelong commitment to South Dakota State University. And again, congratulations, Mike. Dr. Erica Summerfield is the Karen D. Stuck Endowed Assistant Professor in Agricultural Communication in the School of Communication and Journalism, and the first to hold this title. She is passionate about blending innovative teaching, practical experience, and collaboration to advance the field of agricultural communication while preparing the next generation of leaders. Karen Stuck will present Erica with the medallion as SDSU's first Karen D. Stuck Endowed Professor in Agricultural Communication. Okay, and now a few words about Karen. Karen's a person with deep belief in the importance of investigative and ethical journalism and commitment to the agricultural community in South Dakota. Karen's deep belief in supporting students in their academic pursuits and encouraging them to actively engage with their world continues to inspire her generosity to the School of Communication and Journalism, as well as the School of American and Global Studies. We're delighted to have Karen with us here today. Thank you, Karen, and again, congratulations, Erica. Dr. Lacey Knutson is the Lucas P. Wintrode Endowed Professor in Special Education Autism Studies and a proud SDSU alum. Her career is focused on supporting individuals with autism and developmental disabilities across public and private schools, clinics, and community-based services. Lacey returned to South Dakota State University in 2022 as a member of our faculty. Lacey has a passion for autism, principles of learning, and mental health. Lucas Wintrode is here today to present the Lucas P. Wintrode Endowed Professor in Special Education with an emphasis in autism studies medallion to Lacey. You may go ahead and make the presentation. Take your photo, right? Okay. Now, a few words about the Paul and Maria Wintrode family. Paul and Maria Wintrode, along with their sons Eric and Lucas, are passionate about helping as many children with autism as possible. They are making a difference for our children and educators at this university and the surrounding communities through the Lucas P. Wintrode Autism Support Services effort. Eric, I understand, is back home today because I think he has a senior photo or something like that, so really important business to attend to. But we are indeed very thankful to Paul, Maria, and Lucas for their partnership and for being with us today. And again, congratulations, Lacey. Dr. Rachel Willen Charnley is the Bill and Nancy Wadsworth Endowed Research Faculty Scholar in Chemistry and the first to hold this title. Rachel joined the faculty at SDSU in 2018 as assistant professor and was promoted to associate professor in 2025. Dr. Willen Charnley is a chemical biologist specializing in interdisciplinary applied organic chemistry and glycocancer immunology. Bill Wadsworth and his son Tom are here with us today to present the Bill and Nancy Wadsworth Endowed Research Faculty Scholar in Chemistry medallion to Dr. Willen Charnley. You may go ahead and present the medallion. And now, a few words about Bill and Nancy Wadsworth, who are funding this endowed position, the first endowed position in the Department of Chemistry, Biochemistry, and Physics. Bill served as a professor of chemistry at SDSU from 1963 until his retirement. Bill and Nancy have also supported faculty research awards and scholarships within the department. Nancy passed away on September 2nd, and we remember her today and know she is smiling upon this very moment. We're grateful Bill is with us today, along with his sons, Tim and Tom, and his daughter-in-law, Shelley. Thank you very much for your generosity, and again, congratulations, Rachel. Wow, pretty good stuff, huh? So one more time, I'd ask that you please join me in thanking, obviously, our very generous donors, and also in congratulating our newest endowed leaders here at South Dakota State.